Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today we're doing a really unique comparison video. It's 2024, which means in June we are getting this new Bat Pod from LEGO. LEGO sent me that one early to review, so that's how I got it a little early here. But all the way back in 2015, LEGO did a giveaway for this Bat Pod. It looks almost identical, but not quite, which is the whole point of today's video, to compare the two. So I'm really looking forward to showing you the original from 9 years ago and the 2024 version side by side, so we can see how this model evolved over the years. If you like what you see, be sure to hit like and subscribe down below, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so we're going to start off by taking a look at the 2015 model. Now, this was a VIP promotion through the LEGO VIP program, which is now called Insiders, of course, and they only made 750 of this set, which is pretty crazy in its own right. It was offered during June of 2015, and basically, if you made a LEGO DC Superheroes purchase at the LEGO store with your VIP account, in the month of June of 2015, you would be entered to win this if you lived in the United States or Canada. Basically, they did the drawing at the end of June, and 750 people were chosen as winners. Now, there have been some cases where they put it back up for, like, a VIP raffle and stuff like that, but there really are only 750 of them out there. Now, the interesting thing is, the build you're looking at in front of you doesn't have any exclusive pieces to it, so the way I obtained this was actually through Bricklink. Somebody found the instructions digitally online and parted it out and then went ahead and built it. And it cost me about $200 to do this. I think I did it last year, if memory serves correctly. But there's 311 pieces here, and if you're trying to get a sealed one in its original box, you'd be looking to spend at least $1,400. And if you're going to do it loose, like I said, probably somewhere in the $200 neighborhood just to part it all out. Now, as far as features go, we do have the guns up front that are very reminiscent of what we get on the 2024 model, which we'll, of course, look at next. And they're built with these giant Technic poles here. Pretty interesting, too. We do get the same tire on this that we get on the 2024 model as well. And as you can see, it is very built up with Technic almost the whole way through. Yes, there are some LEGO system bricks, but the system bricks are generally just used for sloping or just a color shade change. For the most part, we get pieces like this, which I believe came from, like, Hero Factory and things like that, as well as all these slanted pieces. Now, it's not a perfect set. I mean, it's cool for the time, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it is a little bit bulky. It is a little bit square. It doesn't have the contour angles that we're going to see on the 2024 model, and there are a couple of things on it that are a little bit janky. Like, as you can see, this little pipe came off of that stud, so that needs to be there. It kind of pops off of there all the time. This piece knocks out very easily. I mean, it doesn't, like, fall off, but it comes out of this little stud right there very easily just because of the shaping and proportions. And speaking of shaping and proportions, that brings us to the top area here where we've got the handlebars. These are just very flimsy and weak. You can see that they move around. The pieces don't come apart per se, but all it takes is one little bump and they move all around. So overall, I really do like this model. I do think it's very cool, and it was awesome at the time to get a big set like this, but unfortunately, I don't think it holds a candle to the 2024 version. Of course, the other question you're probably wondering is, does the Batman figure fit on it? And I hate to say it, but no, he really doesn't. Of course, he does fit on the new version, but even putting him into the pose to try and fit, you'll see that he's just a little bit too big to actually fit on there comfortably. So unfortunately, at 311 pieces, this is just a very cool display model in its own right, but isn't necessarily a great playset or anything like that, especially compared to the new one that definitely does have some play value, although I'm not a big fan of the construction figures. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the new model. Now that brings us to the 2024 model, which is definitely the better play scale one, because of course we get the Batman figure that is scaled to it, so you could, zoom this around, but at the same time, it's not without its faults. Just like before, we'll start up front with the guns. Of course, the tires spin on this for play. We've got stud shooters, and the guns on this are much more sophisticated, I suppose is one way to put it, with all kinds of different build techniques to show different sizes for the guns, which look good. As we move up to the Technic build here, as we get into the frame, it is a lot less bulky than the previous version and much more streamlined. Now, one of the issues I have with this are the handlebars. I really don't like how skinny this is when we compare it to the old one one that did have a lot of bulk to get the handlebars raised up. Whereas here, they're literally just Technic, pins and receivers just kind of hanging out on the side here. Can't say I'm a big fan of that. We do have a sticker on this handguard here, and as we'll see when we put Batman on it, he can clip onto these handlebars there to drive it. As we move on to the seating or laying area, I don't know what you would call it in this case, it is a lot more contoured and a lot more shaping going on here, which I like quite a bit. And Batman does look pretty good when he is, loaded on to the actual bike itself. But that being said, I still can't say I'm a huge fan. Now, as we come to the back, you can see that we do have a lot of very skinny Technic exposed through here. And it's cool that, the pedal here isn't connected in the way that the previous one was, where that, piece could come off very easily. But I do like that these move kind of like brake and gas pedals would on the real one. So it is a very cool model in that respect. I just can't say I'm a huge fan of it overall. I'm more of a Lego playset guy, but viewing it on its own merit, I do think it's hard to say that this isn't the better of the two models because of everything we've got going on. So that being said, let's put Batman on so you can see what that looks like now. Okay, I switched to a wide-angle lens to give me a little bit more runway to work with here, but we got to take the Batman figure and kind of get him in position. So you want to kind of line those knee joints up. Then, as you can see, Batman's feet have a little stud in the bottom that we're going to line up with the stud that's on the brake. So you can see that stud on the foot pedal will connect in there. So when you do that, you'll see that the knees actually kind of line up pretty well into those little braces. Then we've got to open up his hands to be able to hold onto the grips here. And these grips kind of connect into the hand joints a little something like this. So you'll see that clips in there so we can hold on to the actual joint. And then we close the hand so it looks like he's holding on to it. After that, you basically just need to get Batman to lay down as much as he can and to look straight up as he's driving. Maybe fluff the cape out just a little bit, and you're good to go, straight out of the Dark Knight. So I do think it accomplishes what it sets out to do as far as looking like Batman on the Batpod from the Dark Knight. The Batpod is a very strong build, very sturdy, like I said. But the unfortunate thing for me, from my personal opinion, is I don't like these figures, and I just can't get into this set overall. Well, needless to say, the models have come a long way over the last 9 years. I'm not really a big fan of either one of these. I'm just not a big Technic builder, and when I am, I'm not sure that I like it to this scale. But regardless, it's hard not to admit that the 2024 one is superior. Even though I don't like the figures we've talked about, it is the better of the two sets. So let me know if you agree with that in the comments down below. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.